Introduction. The first time it hit me that I had reached a certain age was while strolling through the streets of downtown New York with my daughters. They are, if I may be so bold, stunning girls. Rowan is a strawberry blonde with curves to die for. Greer is 6 feet tall, all legs, and towers over me. They're all so funny, fiercely intelligent, thoughtful, and kind, though I guess those traits are less obvious to the casual observer. On this particular day, we were walking side by side, me in the middle, and it was impossible not to notice the admiring looks from various passersby. Over the years, I've become used to being recognized on the street, but this time was different. The looks weren't cast in my direction, but at the two beauties by my side. I had every single feeling all at once. What are you doing, ogling my babies? I will cut you. But also, aren't they gorgeous? But also, wait. No one's gazing at me? When did that happen? Am I over? Protectiveness, pride, melancholy. It all smacked me upside the head in one quintessential New York minute. There was also the time I was doing a photo shoot, and after a couple of shots, I took a peek at the monitor. I think there's some dust on the camera lens, I said to the photographer, pointing to a weird line on my cheek. His response was something to the effect of a pitying, "Aw, you're cute." There was no dust. That something was a wrinkle. I didn't have my first child until I was 37. I went through a hard time after I had Rowan, suffering from postpartum depression, which I wrote about in my first book, Down Came the Rain. But with the help of good medical professionals and the right medication, I felt like myself again, more or less, by her first birthday. I had Greer when I was 40, and the ensuing decade felt, in a word, playful. That was a brand new feeling for me. I remember thinking in my 40s, this isn't old at all. This is fun. Keep in mind, I'd been treated like an adult and was expected to behave like one since I was a kid. At 40, it was as though my biological age finally aligned with the age I'd felt for decades. I felt mature, yet still playful. I was firing on all cylinders, and at the risk of sounding like Maria von Trapp, the world seemed full of possibilities. I felt like I was being primed for a moment when I could finally pat myself on the back and say, "You've earned it," if I chose to take a break. Plus, I'd arrived at a place of self-acceptance. I actually liked my body and no longer compared it to the runway models. I never did runway and believed those girls were skinny, whereas I was considered athletic. In my modeling days, a euphemism for not skinny. At 40, relieving myself of being compared to others felt like freedom. Mine was a body to be proud of. This body gave me babies. This body could dance. I had curves and was okay with that. It wasn't exactly "I am woman, hear me roar," but I certainly felt like "I am woman, hear me more." And yet, as my 40s progressed into my 50s, I began to notice that external perceptions didn't seem to match up with my internal sense of self. My industry no longer received me with the same enthusiasm I had come to expect. The vibe from casting agents and producers, but also my fans, was more, you need to stop time and maybe even reverse it. Case in point, at a routine dermatological appointment to get a mole checked out, the doctor, unsolicited, waved his hand around my face and said, "We can fix all that." "All what?" I asked. "You know, all the cue more hand-waving. You know." "What the hell? Who asked for your opinion?" I thought as I heard myself say, "Oh, thank you, but not yet." Maybe it took seeing myself through the eyes of other people to fully understand that, in fact, I was entering a new era of life. I mean, I was aware that some things were changing. I get tired now in a way I never did before.